Hey guys, in this video I'm very glad to share with you my experience in writing code to show Modal Dialog in a Spring Boot application using Bootstrap and jQuery. Through this video, you will learn how to use jQuery and Bootstrap to write code that shows static Modal Dialog with fixed content, and how to show dynamic Modal Dialog with content loaded from the server dynamically. And the reason that we need to use Modal Dialog is that to have user-friendly pop-up instead of default pop-up dialog provided by the browser for better user experience. And Modal Dialog using Bootstrap is highly customizable. And this is Modal Dialog created by Bootstrap. You see. Suppose that we have an existing Java project using the following technologies: Spring Boot, Timeleaf, and Bootstrap and jQuery for the view layer for the front end. And I'm using the following software programs: Java Development Kit JDK and Spring Boot Suite IDE SDS. You see, this is a Spring Boot project in a Spring Boot Suite IDE. That uses jQuery and Bootstrap. Let me start this Spring Boot application. And you see, in this project, I'm using Bootstrap 4 version 4.4.1 and jQuery version 3.4.1. And let's access our Spring Boot application. In the application properties file, you can see our Spring Boot application. We run embedded Tomcat server listening on port 8080 with this context path. Now I'm using Chrome browser to test our Spring Boot application. Here we go. This is a Spring Boot application, and let me show you the user management function, and where we need to update the code to use Modal Dialog. When create a new user with the same email with an existing user as an application, we check for uniqueness of the email and display a pop-up dialog. Full name Tom Yoga, password Tom role editor enable. And this email belongs to another user, and the application should display a warning message dialog when I click the save button here. And you can see this is the default pop-up dialog appears. This dialog provided by the browser, and it is very basic and not nice. And you want to use Modal Dialog using Bootstrap instead of this default dialog. You see, there is another user having the email name sm@codejava.net, and now we want to use Bootstrap Modal Dialog to replace the default pop-up dialog created by the browser. And in the project, I will show you the code that displays the pop-up dialog here in this JavaScript function. And this is the code to show a message dialog alert statement in JavaScript. We display a pop-up dialog provided by the browser, and now we want to update the code to use Bootstrap Modal Dialog instead. So to create a Modal Dialog using Bootstrap, we need to write some HTML code. with Bootstrap CSS style first. At the end of the document here, we declare a div section for modal dialog. We use the class model provided by Bootstrap, and the ID of this div section is my model. And inside this div section, we have another div with the class is modal dialog, and inside we have the div section for content div class equal modal content. And inside modal content we have modal header, modal body, and modal footer. Div class equal modal header for the header of the modal dialog, and for the content, and for the footer. This is modal content. Sorry, modal body. And the last section is for the modal footer. And in the header, we display a title with a closed icon. Use as heading 4 for the title of the dialog. Class is modal title, and the title is warning. And we have a button for the closed icon to dismiss the dialog. Button type equal button. Class is closed to display a closed icon. And data dismissed, we need to specify these attributes. Data dismissed equal modal. And we use this HTML escape to display the closed icon. Okay. And in the modal body, we use the span. This is the content. And in the footer, we display a close button. So we use same code here for the close button, and the text of the button is close. And we use another CSS for this button, btn tangle. Okay, so this is the HTML and CSS code for modal dialog using Bootstrap, and then we need to use jQuery JavaScript to show this modal dialog. And scroll down, and in this JavaScript function we replace the alert statement with the code to show the modal dialog. And to show the modal dialog, we use jQuery. jQuery select by ID of the section of the modal dialog is my modal here. ID here, and call the method modal. That's it. Very simple. And we copy this comment this statement. Okay. Now refresh the browser. Refresh the create new user form and view the best source, and scroll down a little bit to make sure that we have the HTML code for the modal dialog here. And now let's enter the information. Email already existed in the database. Full name. Click save. And you see we have a nice modal dialog appears here with the title warning and the close icon, and in the body text this is content, and the footer is a close button. Click close or button or close icon, we dismiss this modal dialog. Close. Very nice, right? Now we update the content of the modal dialog. This is content, this is the title, and I want to update the title of the modal dialog based on the response code from the server. Success, fail, unknown response here. Okay, to do so we can use jQuery to update the content of the HTML code of the modal dialog. I specify ID for the title tag here. ID equal modal title, and for the span element I specify the ID modal body, and in jQuery I can replace the text for the title and the content here using jQuery. Select syntax modal title and set text. Text is warning, and I want to update the content modal body text, and I paste this error message with JavaScript code. Okay, let's test it. Refresh this user new form, enter the information, and click save button. It is not updated. Let's see. Let's see the best sort. We have the ID for the modal title and modal body here. Let's see. When we have problem, you can open the developer tools in Chrome to see if there's any error in the JavaScript console. Developer tools here, and for now we don't have any error. Let's see. Modal title, modal body, text. Let's click save again. My mistake for the ID of the span element modal body with B is capitalized. Okay. Now refresh the create new user form and test again. Save, and you can see the modal dialog appears with customized content for the body and warning. There's another user having the email here, and the user can click close button to dismiss the dialog, or click anywhere outside the dialog to dismiss it. See. Next, let's update JavaScript jQuery code to show modal dialog in case of unknown response from server, and in case of error here. When an error occurs, I want to set the title of the modal dialog to error. So copy this and paste here and change the title of the modal dialog is error. Error connecting to the server is the content of the message. And we show the modal dialog. Model. That's it. And we do the same in case of unknown response from server. We copy and paste, and in case unknown response, the title of the dialog is information, for example. The text in the body is unknown response from the server. That's it. And now let's modify the code to test the case error. For example, I change the URL here. Okay, refresh the user form. Save. And you see, in case of error, the title of the modal dialog changes to error, and this is the content of the message error connecting to the server. The user can click close to dismiss the modal dialog. And in case of unknown response from the server, I can change this value. Refresh this form. Enter some information. Save. And you can see now the title of the modal dialog is information, and the message is unknown response from the server. Very nice, right? So that's how to use jQuery and Bootstrap to show a static modal dialog with fixed content. And you see we can use jQuery to dynamically update the content, HTML content of the modal dialog using jQuery text method here. And you can see with HTML code we can customize the content of the modal dialog as we wish. Very easy. Next, I will guide you how to write code to show a dynamic modal dialog with content loaded from the server dynamically. So in our application, in the products list here, you can see the user can click on this button to view the details of a product, overview, description, images, details, like this. And now we want to update the code to show the details of a product in the modal dialog instead of in a whole page like this. You want to show a modal dialog for the details of a product. So let's open the code of the product list page here, products.html here, and to use modal dialog we need to declare a HTML code section for the modal dialog with Bootstrap. So we can copy this code to create a placeholder for modal dialog, and you can see. And in the content, modal content section here, we will fill the content dynamically with content generated from the server, which is details of a specific product. And in the controller layer, Spring MVC controller layer, we have product controller here, product controller, and this is a method handler method that returns the details of a product view product here, and by default it returns a view product underscore detail, which is here product underscore details, product underscore detail here. This is a full whole HTML page that displays the details of the product here, you see. And now let's modify the code to just return the only the content for the modal dialog. So need to create a copy of this HTML file, copy, paste, sorry, we need to copy and paste to the same directory, product, and we need to cancel, change the name, rename, rename this file to product underscore detail underscore model, and we move it to the templates directory, and we modify the code of this HTML page to keep only the content for the modal dialog. So we delete the header and footer, and we copy the header and footer of the modal dialog here, copy this section for modal header here. The title of the modal dialog is product details, and we also copy the footer to display the close button here. Okay, that's it. And in the controller, we will return the view name product underscore detail underscore model. That's it. And now in the product list page, we need to use jQuery to load content from the server and display on the modal dialog. And as you can see in the user interface, we have the button to view the details of the product here. View details, the hyperlink in the format of button. As you can see here, this is a hyperlink on which the user click, we show the details of the product, and you can see the hyperlink to view the details of the product here. And now let's set ID for this hyperlink. ID equal link detail. And in the JavaScript code, we use the query to load the content from the server and show the modal dialog. First, for the document ready event, document ready function. Here we select that hyperlink link detail and override the on click event on click function e. E is an event, and we call e dot prevent default to prevent the user prevent the hyperlink in the here will not be clicked link here. And then we select the modal dialog, my modal ID of the modal dialog here, my modal, and call the method modal show. And then we find the content, find the div element with the class modal dash content here. We use a dot to specify a class name, CSS class name, and then we call the load method with the URL of the server. So here I copy this URL, copy and paste here. For testing, first we use a fixed URL for the product ID 2. Okay, that's it. Save the changes and let's refresh the product list page. View the page source to verify that we have the updated HTML and JavaScript code here. You can see the code for the Modal Dialog and the JavaScript code here. Okay, and open the developer tools to make sure that we don't have any error. No error. This F4 for error for the any image of the product not found. Now click the detail link on the product here, and you can see the modal dialog appears with the content of the details of the product. Very nice, right? Description, images, details, and the user can click the close button to dismiss it and click another product. We got an error here because we implement the click event for only the first hyperlink with ID link detail here. Now to show the modal dialog for each product, we need to use another approach. So we don't use ID for the hyperlink anymore. We need to use class ID. We have ID for the hyperlink here. Cut it, and we don't use ID. Instead, we specify a class name here. A class name here for the hyperlink link dash detail. And we need to update the code to select element by class name. So we use a dot operator here, and following by the CSS class name link dash detail. Save and refresh the user list page and click the first product. Modal dialog appears. Very nice. Click the second product. The modal dialog appears with the details of the product, but currently we fixed for the product ID 2. So for all product, we see only detail for the product iPhone 5C Plus here. Now let's update the code to use product ID from the corresponding link. So we need to update this. And you can see in the hyperlink to view the details of a product here. We have the attribute sref here with the hyperlink to see the product details. So we can use that attribute to load the content to the modal dialog. So here we type to the side. This is a hyperlink, and then we access each attribute as reference to use the hyperlink for each link. Okay, save the changes and refresh. Now let's click another product, Samsung Galaxy, for example. And you can see the details is now updated for the correct product Samsung Galaxy. Close. And let's see the details of product iPhone 7. iPhone 7, you see, it is updated for the corresponding product. And you want to make this modal dialog a little bit larger, so we can specify a CSS attribute for the modal dialog here. You can specify modal dash LG is for large. Save the change and refresh the product page and see again iPhone 5C. You see the modal dialog is a little bit bigger, which is nicer, right? Very nice. So that's how to dynamically display loads of content for modal dialog using jQuery like this. So the modal dialog and find the div element you want to replace the content and use a load content from a specific URL. Awesome! So far you have learned how to use jQuery and Bootstrap in the Spring Boot project to show a modal dialog, both static modal dialog and dynamic modal dialog with content loaded from the server. I hope you will find this video helpful. Please subscribe to my channel, like, comment and share this video. Thank you. I am Nam Haming from CodeJava.net.